Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're rediving into a topic that affects almost all of us in this hyper-connected world: constant stimulation and its impact on our emotional stability. Have you ever felt on edge, irritable, or just plain overwhelmed for no apparent reason? It might not be just you. It could be your brain on overload. Let's start by thinking about a typical day. Your alarm blares. You grab your phone. You scroll through social media feeds, check emails, and maybe watch a quick video before your feet even hit the floor. On your commute, you listen to a podcast or music. At work, you're juggling emails, notifications, and meetings. During your lunch break, you're probably scrolling again. After work, it's Netflix, video games, or more social media. Our brains are processing information from the moment we wake up until the moment we fall asleep. There's almost no downtime. This non-stop flood of information is what we call constant stimulation. And our brains, frankly, weren't built for this. For most of human history, our brains had natural periods of rest and quiet. Think of our ancestors. Their days had moments of intense focus, like hunting, but also long periods of quiet observation, conversation, or simply being. This rhythm allowed their brains to process experiences, consolidate memories, and regulate emotions. We've traded that natural rhythm for a fire hose of digital noise. So, how exactly does this affect our emotional stability? It all comes down to our nervous system and a few key chemicals in our brain. When we're constantly stimulated, our brain is in a state of high alert. This triggers the fight or flight response, releasing stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. In short bursts, this is great. It helps us react to danger. But when it's happening all day, every day, it's a recipe for disaster. Chronically high levels of cortisol can lead to anxiety, irritability, and mood swings. You might find yourself snapping at a loved one over something small, or feeling a constant low-level hum of anxiety that you just can't shake. Your emotional baseline gets shifted. Instead of starting from a place of calm, you're starting from a place of being on edge, flight, trying to have a delicate conversation right next to a roaring construction site. It's nearly impossible to be calm and measured. Another major player here is dopamine. Dopamine is the reward chemical. We get a little hit of it every time we see a like on our post, get a new notification, or win a level in a game. Our digital world is engineered to give us these little dopamine hits, keeping us coming back for more. The problem is, our brains adapt all the time. We need more and more stimulation to get the same feeling of pleasure. This can create a cycle of addiction. When we're not getting that stimulation, we can feel bored, empty, and even depressed. This is called a dopamine deficit. It explains why sitting in silence can feel so uncomfortable or even agonizing for many of us. We've trained our brains to crave constant input. This constant chase for stimulation also severely impacts our ability to focus. Our attention becomes fragmented. We jump from one thing to another, never really engaging deeply with anything. This is known as cognitive switching, and it's mentally exhausting. This exhaustion depletes our resources for emotional regulation. Think of your willpower and self-control like a muscle. When you spend all day flexing it by constantly switching tasks and resisting distractions, it gets tired. By the end of the day, you have less mental energy left to manage your emotions. That's why you were more likely to have an emotional outburst in the evening than in the morning. You've simply run out of emotional fuel. Furthermore, a lack of boredom is a serious problem. Boredom has gotten a bad rap, but it's actually incredibly important for our mental health. When we're bored, our brain switches into something called the default mode network. This is when our mind wanders, we daydream, we reflect on our experiences, and we come up with creative ideas. It's the brain's natural self-maintenance mode. It's where we process emotions, solve problems subconsciously, and solidify our sense of self. By constantly filling every spare moment with stimulation, We're robbing ourselves of this crucial mental process. We're not giving ourselves the space to understand how we truly feel. Instead, we're just distracting ourselves from our emotions, which doesn't make them go away. They just build up under the surface, waiting to erupt. So, what can we do about it? It's not about throwing away our phones and moving to a cabin in the woods, although that does sound nice sometimes. It's about being intentional and reclaiming our mental space. The first step is awareness. Simply notice how often you reach for your phone or turn on the TV out of habit. Just becoming aware of the pattern is a huge step. Next, try to schedule digital detoxes into your day. This could be as simple as the first hour after you wake up and the last hour before you go to bed being screen-free. This gives your brain a chance to ease into the day and wind down naturally. Instead of scrolling, try reading a physical book, stretching, meditating, or just sitting with a cup of tea and your own thoughts. It might feel weird at first, but stick with it. Another powerful technique is to practice mindfulness and single-tasking. When you're eating, just eat. Pay attention to the flavors and textures. When you're talking to someone, give them your full attention. Put your phone away. When you're working on a task, turn off notifications and focus on that one thing. This trains your brain to focus deeply again and reduces the mental exhaustion from cognitive switching. Embrace boredom. Next time you're waiting in line, resist the urge to pull out your phone. Just look around. Observe people. Let your mind wander. You'll be surprised at the thoughts and ideas that pop up. This is your brain's default mode network kicking in, and it's a beautiful thing. And finally, prioritize real-world connection and nature. Spending time with loved ones, face-to-face, releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, which counteracts stress and promotes feelings of well-being. Spending time in nature has been scientifically proven to reduce cortisol levels, lower blood pressure, and improve mood. A walk in the park can be more restorative than an hour of scrolling. It's important to remember that if you're struggling with severe anxiety, depression, or emotional instability, it's always best to seek help from a mental health professional. There's no shame in it, and they can provide you with tools and support tailored to your specific needs. Reclaiming our emotional stability in this overstimulated world is a journey, not a destination. It's about making small, consistent choices to give our brains the rest and quiet they need to function optimally. By being more intentional with our attention, we can move from being reactive and on edge to being more present, calm, and in control of our emotions, too. Thank you so much for watching. Cool. I hope this gave you some valuable insights. What are your strategies for dealing with constant stimulation? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content on mental well-being. See you in the next one.